On an unforgettable journey. Embark on an unforgettable journey through Egypt with Hues of Africa and Soul Journey Travel. Discover the wonders of this ancient land with our expertly curated itinerary, from the majestic pyramids of Giza to the tranquil waters of the Nile. Immerse yourself in the rich history and vibrant culture of Egypt. Book now and use discount code VICTOR2024 to save $100 off your trip. Single and dual occupancy options available with flexible payment plans. Visit our website for more details and start your adventure today.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. If I can get it out. Welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, Mr. FSP. And one more time around the sun. Let's have some fun. There have been releases, and then there have been mega releases. I'm going to bring on my co-host to talk about his team's release, which I thought was the worst one ever. But that's just because I'm giving him crap. But also, it was kind of lame. I'm just going to be real. It was kind of lame. Let me bring on my co-host, JT ATM Money. What's going on wearing his Browns gear, as always? I'm quite sure he's watching the Preakness, which is about to go down.
Preakness is not until 7 p.m. So
Look at your face.
we have plenty of time for that. Anyway.
Well, hold on.
Wait a minute. I got to say this. Say this. Give me a chance.
Go ahead.
Come on now. Don't interrupt me because this is an important day. And I got to say, happy birthday to my host and many more to come. And hopefully you enjoy your last few years in the decade that you are in right now. I'm just saying
that y'all don't know, but that was a backhanded compliment. And see, look at his reaction because he knows it was a backhanded compliment.
What are you talking about? I wish you happy birthday. What
I know.
that?
I enjoyed the last few years in this decade.
It is what it is, man. I keep it 100. I keep it 100%.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Greatly appreciate that. But yeah, I gotta send you some more money today since I know what you're gonna do with them horses because you're already writing them down. I see it.
This is not a. Let me put it this way. This is more to me a watch day versus a gambling day, just to see. I don't normally like engaging in any wagers on a off track because anything can happen. So
what is an off track?
An off track is if it's raining. What happens with dirt when it rains?
It gets muddy.
Thank you.
Well, I'm asking what an off track is. I don't know what an off track is.
Well, I'll just explain it to you. An off track is when there's a lot of moisture on the track, when there's raining, and quite naturally, it's a sloppy track. Anything can happen. Horses that don't normally run well on fast track, which is the dirt track, which is completely dry, is changes. Because now you're working on a off track, you don't know who can take to the off track and who can run better on the off track. So a 50-1 shot could win the race because he likes running on wet tracks versus a favorite who likes running on a fast track, a dry track. So this, to me, It's a big race because it's the second leg of the Triple Crown, which is Kentucky Derby, Preakness, which is today in Baltimore, and the other one is the Belmont, which is the longest race, and it's early part of June in New York. It's a big deal, but it's not a big deal to me because I like to, just like you, like to wager on things that I am confident of. Okay.
Oh, that's why you're not going to do Cleveland versus Washington? That's a good point. But go ahead.
And I think, and to go into that, okay, I like to bet on things that I'm very confident on. Okay. Okay. Just such as you. And if I'm confident of a team that has the hardest schedule in the NFL this season versus a team that has the 19th, which is below the middle of the hardest schedules, has a average schedule. To me, it's a no-brainer. But I understand that you're scared. I understand that. No problem. I understand that.
I'm just worried about a head-to-head matchup. Somebody's not confident in a head-to-head matchup based upon what they just said.
Well, let me put it this way, Mr. FSP.
Go right ahead, because you already said you only put wagers on things you're confident in. And if you're not confident in the head-to-head,
no. What's the hardest to deal with? A full season of wins and losses, or one game?
You know what, Jerry? I'll do you like this. Because
I
know you're a bluffer. I know you like to bluff a lot.
I ain't bluffing.
So here's what I'll do. We can go head-to-head and full season.
No.
I thought you were confident. I thought you were confident.
Look, I'm giving you. This to me. This is a no-brainer. This is
head-to-head.
This is easy for you. This is easy for you. Okay, because you like to go from who's going to have the better record? That's what you like to do.
I didn't do that. I just went head-to-head because normally we don't play head-to-head. That's why. We don't normally play head-to-head.
I'm willing to give you a more of a chance. And then we go 17 games apiece. Anything can happen. Any player can get hurt. Any key player can get hurt.
I want head-to-head action. It's the 5th game of the season for both teams. And typically, that's around when the teams really are showing who they really are. Because, week 1, week 2, people can consider an extension of the preseason. So with that being the case, you either take it or leave it, Mr. I only place wages on things I'm confident in.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm looking at the door, and what did you tell me? I take it or leave it.
Are you going to walk out the door?
Go ahead and
walk out the door. I just want to. That just proves my point. You're not willing to take the wager on your team because, like you said, you only wager on things you're sure about, and you're not sure that they can be. Which I greatly appreciate.
Let me put it this way, and I'm going to give you the other part of the spectrum. I don't understand why you won't take a team that's got a 19th easiest score. Any way you want to put it, is way down on the spectrum on the schedule as being difficult versus my team that has the most difficult schedule. I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me.
And neither does not taking a head-to-head. So,
okay. Well, Mr. FSP, I'm gonna say it like this, Mr. FSP. We agree to disagree. How's that? Okay. We agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from his own mouth. He's Harrison Bucknering things. He's trying to make it seem right.
No,
it's not right.
Hey, let me put it this way. I'm trying to be fair, people. In my opinion, I'm trying to be fair, and I'm not disparaging. Just like my host did, he just disparaged me, but that's okay. That's okay. But I'm not the one. I said we agree to disagree. I was willing to leave it at that But then you had to take it to another. Okay, more or less tell me I'm punking out. Okay,
I didn't say you were. I
no,
mean, that's just like what you said. That's basically what you said about me not taking a 17 game, season long deal.
And then I turned around and tell you we agree to disagree. That's pretty much. Pretty much leave it just as it is. But then you had to take it further. But that's okay.
No, I was saying
I expect that from a young buck like you. That's no problem.
We were talking at the same time. That's all.
Maybe when you get to 50, you'll understand. But not now. I understand. I understand.
Look, you 70-year-old Geritol guy.
That's right. I understand.
With that being the case,
when I came to, when with age, you get wisdom. Trust me, you get wisdom. You understand. You understand the situation, and rather than butt heads, okay, I say this: we agree to disagree. No problem. I ain't got no problem with that. Okay, I'm not going to.
I didn't say you did, nor do I. I just understand what you said earlier about you only make arrangements when you have a strong feeling about them. And
I have a strong feeling about this, but that's okay.
That's great. You have a strong feeling about the season, but that also tells me you don't have a strong feeling about the head-to-head matchup.
I have a strong feeling, but I have a stronger feeling about the overall season, which is more difficult to go through the ups and downs of a season versus one game, which is no problem. Like I said, we agree to disagree. No problem. I ain't got no problem with that. Why don't you just leave it at that?
No, listen.
You can't. I know. I understand. You can't.
All I have said
oh my God.
I don't understand.
People, do you see what I'm putting up with? He can't leave it.
Nothing.
You can't leave it.
Yes, I can. So we're gonna move to, you know what? In honor of your desire to wager on your team's season and not a head-to-head matchup like most people would do.
No, don't go there.
I'm going to start with Cleveland. I'm going to start with Cleveland.
Go right ahead.
Because as you claim, it is the toughest schedule.
That's a fact
for the NFL.
It's not a claim. That's a fact. I'm looking right at the ranking.
Okay. Well, right now,
the opponents that they have a almost a 550 winning percentage. That's
I can't help it if your team only has a 550 winning percentage. But we're going to go.
I'm talking about they're going up
against.
I
understand. I know what you're saying.
But you're not.
Let's look at the schedule. Let's look at the schedule. Look at that. The Cleveland Brown looking like a clown up there. Schedule and that schedule release, Jerry. I got to tell you, man. That was some weak sauce. Bowling alley.
People.
It looked weak to me. It did. It looked weak to me.
He's got to throw shade on something. He's got to throw shade on somebody.
I'm definitely going to say no thank you.
Who cares? Who cares? Okay.
But
it was all done in fun. But apparently, you just leaked TSA a little bit through that because
I didn't. I just think that was a very weak schedule release video.
It was all made in fun. Come on, man.
You know what was made in? I'll tell you what was made in fun.
Oh my God.
That was a good one. It was a good one. It was made in fun. The Dallas Cowboys release when they FaceTime Dawn Staley, who is a Philadelphia Eagle fan. That was funny.
Okay.
That was funny.
Whatever.
But anyway.
Everybody has their own taste and own humor line, okay?
That is true. My humorous bone did not laugh with Cleveland. Well, you know what? I did laugh when they were oiling up the balls. And I was like, they sure they want to do that? Especially having Deshaun Watson in this video. I also did like the bowling legend RVB. I like him. He's a very good bowler. I didn't know he was a Cleveland Brown fan. But anyway, Cleveland opens up in Dallas.
Okay.
Excuse me, at home with Dallas.
They're going to win that game.
425.
They're going to win that game. They're going to win that
Dallas?
game. I'm
Dallas
telling
is
you.
going to win that game. I know.
No, Browns are going to win that game. Are you kidding me? Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. Hey,
You know, in the summer, we're going to go over our divisional schedules, right?
oh my God. Well, okay. No
but
problem.
I got a feeling, a real good feeling, that you're going to be wrong unless you change your pick week 1.
Dallas is not as good as most people think.
No,
They-
I don't disagree.
They're
I
not
don't
that good a
disagree.
team. They've lost a lot, and they didn't replenish their roster to what you think they did. So
No, I agree that they
Dallas
I don't
Cowboys,
believe
they're
they're
playing
gonna be-
in Cleveland. They're playing in Cleveland.
Yes,
in
game
Cleveland.
1.
And I told you last year, and it ain't going to change that much this year because the defense hasn't changed that much this year with the same coach and same players. It ain't going to change that much this year. So they play better at home defense-wise. And that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm not saying it will not be a problem, but I also am saying the Cowboys will win that game.
Okay.
I think Amari Cooper.
Everybody has their opinion.
That is true. Amari Cooper might want to have a get-back game, but he does not fare well at the beginning of the season. It's like the middle of the season is when Amari Cooper actually starts to show up. But
There are other players on that team, but that's okay.
there are other players. You're right. And they got other weapons. You're absolutely right. If Deshaun doesn't throw the ball in the dirt and can get it to him, you're right. But I think he'll throw the ball in the dirt quite often. But on the flip side of that game, Dallas, they're going to try to feed CeeDee Lamb. They got Zeke back. Now, Zeke is not
Come on, man.
the Zeke of old, but I think he is going to be competent enough to do what they need him to do, along with the other weapons that on offense.
Oh,
now,
boy. I'm going to laugh in our fantasy draft. I'm going to laugh at the person who drafts Zeke. I'm going to laugh at him.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Zeke's going to get drafted unless it's like late.
Somebody's going. I guarantee it because
I mean,
of the name.
It's nothing wrong with
Because
a
of the
late.
name, because of the name, and because it's the Cowboys. Somebody's going to draft Ezekiel Elliott, and he is washed up. I'm telling you that right now. And the fact is, Mike McCarthy don't feature running back.
We know.
So
We know. But
I have more faith in Dowdell than I have in Zeke.
well, we'll see what happens. But anyway, next game.
Yeah.
And it does start off kind of rough for them. Jacksonville, which I think Cleveland will beat because I think Jacksonville's in a state of flux. I don't like their receiving core. Now that they let Zay Jones and my man go, Christian Kirk is coming off of an injury. They did get a talented wide receiver out of college, but I think it's too many unfamiliar faces catching the ball for them. Now you got ATN and you got Ingram, but I think the receiving core for Jacksonville is going to be a little suspect, and the defense isn't going to be as good as a lot of people think. It's going to be hard for Jacksonville to be competitive in that AFC South, which I think is going to be one of the better divisions after being one of the best divisions last year, surprisingly. Week 3, you get a bye. I mean, Cleveland plays the Giants, and it's kind of soft there. I don't think the Giants are going to win more than like 4 or 5 games. I'll be honest with you. I don't think we'll win 4 or 5 games. What do you think, JT?
I thought we'd get into these games in the summer versus now.
We will, but we're going over the schedules of certain teams.
The whole NFL, 32 teams.
I didn't want to do all 30. Well, we can do all 32, but since you wanted to talk about a 17-game season for your Cleveland Browns, I wanted to bring them up specifically.
Okay.
So
I mean, we got 3 teams that have the the 1, 2, 3 hardest schedule in the NFL in the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have a horrible
Yeah.
schedule, with the exception of Washington. After their bye, horrible. They play all of their division rivals in the last
back to back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh, they have a horrible. I think this is finally a season. Mike Tomlin does not have a winning season, because if they don't win, they don't have a winning season. By the time they get to the bye week, it's a wrap. Let me put it that way.
Well, I'll say this. I think Cleveland beats the Giants pretty easily, but they have a rough time versus the Raiders the following week, week 4. I think the Raiders are going to just whoop them. Honestly.
Okay.
I think they're going to whoop them.
Whatever.
Then they're going to come back and play Washington at Washington. And again, this is the one I want to place a wager on versus you. Of course, you don't want to because you're worried about it.
I am not worried about it.
I think Washington wins that game easily. And when I say easily,
okay.
I mean easily.
Give me your reason.
Because
give me your reason.
Nick Chubb will probably just now be getting his feet under him.
Nick Chubb won't even have matter. He won't even fall into the equation at week 5. He won't even fall into the equation. And what I'm going on is one of the top-rated defense, if not the top-rated defense in the NFL, going against a rookie. I don't care if the rookie's home, but he's got a new offensive coordinator. He's got a new offensive line. He's got new wide receivers. Got a new running back that he has to deal with. And in the 5th game, I don't expect him to go against a big-time defense with a big-time rush as the Cleveland Browns to be able to be effective. But I know you're a Washington Commanders fan, no problem. I understand that. I'm trying to give you logic, and you're trying to give me a partisan opinion, which is fine. I understand
No.
You're
no partisan.
You actually think that the Washington Commanders, with a rookie quarterback and all the things I named below that, is going to be able to beat a team that was in the playoffs last season and had one of the top.
With a different quarterback, yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah. But they had one of the top-rated defenses and with a hell of a pass rush. That's their main thing, is their pass rush. And you think that quarterback is going to be able to deal with all that and being able to deal with the new players he has on his team by the 5th game? Usually, this was happens. This was really happened. Usually, and I don't think he's a CJ Stroud, so I know you may go that way. Usually, so let me put it this way. Usually, a rookie quarterback with all the things I named, new offensive coordinator, new team, new wide receivers, new running back, new offensive line, and a suspect defense doesn't do well in the 5th game. Usually when he does start doing well is the middle of the season, whenever he has a better understanding of who's who. So in the 5th game, if you want to go that route with a CJ Stroud type of player, no problem. Can
I get there? Can I get there before you say what I'm going to say? Thank you. I appreciate that. No. So I do believe that the repeat of what Houston did to the Browns in the playoffs will happen in week 5 with Washington beating up on Cleveland. I'm honest when I say this. This isn't a homer bias or anything, because I don't think we're going to get more than 9 wins or so. If we get more than 9 wins, I'll be very happy. But this will be one of them.
Wait a minute. You think
because
you can get 9 wins?
Wait a minute, because Cleveland, I'm telling you, you're overexcited for a team that historically underperforms. Again, this is May. Once we see what minicamp and not spring training, minicamp and OTAs and like the 2 preseason games look like, that might change. But right now, you're hanging your hat on the strength of your defense from last year. That doesn't mean they're going to repeat the same thing. Jadeveon Clowney, I'm not sure if he's there or not, but he feasted because of Myles Garrett. Who's on the other side now? Are they going to feast because of Myles Garrett? I don't know. OJK, solid linebacker, but can he stay healthy? And who's the other linebacker? There are some issues in the secondary. Jim Schwartz disguised a lot of stuff really well and put the defense in very good positions when the offense was sputtering. I don't think Cleveland has the team that you think they have. I think they have a bunch of players. They have a bunch of players with a lot of talent.
Okay.
But I don't think they have the team to do it. But again, going down Murderers Row, they lose 3 straight, in my opinion.
Wow.
The Raiders, Washington, and to the Eagles.
Okay.
The Eagles are truly built to win, and I think they will. And that's going to be a 1 p.m. game.
I'm going to have to teach this young buck a lesson, people. I'm going to have to teach this young buck a lesson. I told him last season. I told 2 guys.
I want to get through this. Can I get through this?
I told 2 guys last season that the player that they thought was the player ain't the player, and he got dogged out at the quarterback. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this right now, and you're not heeding, but I'm going to tell you. There's a Benjamin waiting for you on week 5, and
are you ready?
Full speed ahead. Damn the torpedoes. Okay. Damn the torpedoes.
Cleveland, Washington. Hold on. I want clarification. There is a wager between you and I for Cleveland versus Washington.
And when I tell you this, I
didn't hear a yes or no.
No, wait a minute. Let me tell you this, and then I'll tell you yes or no. Cliff Kingsbury leaves his quarterback out to dry all the time. Kyler Murray was running for his life.
Okay.
Because Cliff Kingsbury's offensive scheme left him hanging out to dry a lot. Kyler Murray was running for his life because of the scheme that Cliff Kingsbury had in his offense. That's going to happen to Jaden Daniels. And with a pass rush like the my Cleveland Browns have, one Benjamin, $100. I'm taking. I'm gonna and let me tell you something.
I'm on week 7.
Wait a minute. I know what you're gonna do, so I'm gonna do the same. Because when my Cleveland Browns dog out your Washington Commanders and beat you, it doesn't make a difference what amount of, if it's 1 point or 100 points. It don't make a difference. I'm taking your money and I'm gonna take your manhood too.
Are you gonna try to Diddy me? You're gonna try
let me tell you something. I'm taking your $100 and you're going to get all the smoke that I can give to you. I'm telling you right now. Okay, because I know
JT, I want you to remember this, because when it doesn't happen, and the new intro plays, and you're gonna have to live with that for the rest of the season.
Let me put it this way.
I want you to remember
Let me put it this way, people.
Just remember.
I know with Mr. FSP because he's part of TSA, and they like doing things like that. So they're gonna dog. He's gonna dog me out. Besides taking $100.
Anyway, I'm a dog you out anyway.
He's gonna dog me out. Okay, no problem. I have no problem with
and
that.
Your money.
I got big shoulders. My 70-year-old body can take it. Okay, no problem. But understand, and I'm telling you right now, this is May 18th on your born day, that I will take your $100 most happily and dog you out in the same breath. I'm telling you that right now.
So ladies and gentlemen, okay, that's fine. So we got a bet. So here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen.
We do have a bet, man.
Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do, JT. Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I will call you and we will watch the game together.
No, it won't have
Yeah.
to.
We're gonna watch the game together
This is
over TV, and I'm gonna dog you out
This is kids
live.
This is kids
Take your money,
This is kids
and then
This is kids stuff. Come
show
on.
the people.
Stop.
Show the people.
Stop.
I'm gonna hold. You know what? I can't even hold it because it's gonna be sent to me by Cash App. So I'm gonna go get me a fresh, crisp $100 bill from somewhere and just on the show that following Saturday. But anyway, can we finish the schedule? Thank you for accepting the bet. It's May 18th, and JT, that clip that you just said, oh, that's gonna be in the new intro, especially when you guys lose. Week 6, oh, that's going to be in the intro. That's going to be in the intro. I'm just saying.
Why?
Because I'm going to be able to gloat.
Oh, okay, whatever.
I'm going to be able to gloat.
You know, the tables can be turned, and understand something. You're going to get all the smoke because I can lay the smoke, and you won't be a happy camper. I can lay the smoke. You won't be a happy camper because it's going to be damn the torpedoes full speed ahead when I start talking.
Well, I'm in the Army, not the Navy, so you can flood the torpedoes and all that all you want. But anyway, I believe you guys get back on the winning streak. You'll be 2-3. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see who I had you guys beating.
I could care less.
The Giants, and then you beat Cincinnati.
Okay.
Lose to Baltimore. Tough game versus the Chargers. I think you beat the Chargers because they're still trying to find themselves.
Whatever.
So that actually puts you at 5-5 going into the bye week, or 5-4 going into the bye week.
Whatever.
I think you beat New Orleans, but then you're going to lose to Pitt, beat Denver, lose to now you're going to split with Pitt. So I said you lose to Pitt first, so then you'll beat Pitt. So that's 2 straight games. Then you're going to lose to Kansas City, lose to Cincinnati at the end, lose to Miami, and lose to Baltimore. That's what I think is going to happen with the Cleveland Browns. Now, by request, and not so much request, but Sammy, the fake 1.5 champ,
What?
he wanted to talk about his 49ers. Unfortunately, he cannot make it today.
Okay.
But let's talk about the 49ers.
Okay. 49ers have the tie for the 12th worst record or hardest record in the NFL. They're tied with the Cowboys, the Jets, the Bengals, Commanders. I mean, not the Commanders. They're tied with the Jets, the Cowboys, 49ers, and the Rams are tied for the hardest schedule, 12th hardest schedule in the league.
Yes.
And the Rams, also the Rams. If I didn't mention the Rams. Okay. So they have a schedule that's going against teams that have an over 500 record last season.
And that's what that means when you say toughest schedule.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, I'm going to say this. Opening up with Tennessee and their new look might be a problem because we don't know what to expect. Is Will Levis going to come out just slinging the ball? Is he going to be more accurate? He has a lot of weapons now. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to give it to the 49ers off the strength of who the 49ers are, and we know what to expect. Now, I also expect Ayuk and Debo to still be there. Ayuk did not get traded during the draft. I don't believe he signed his franchise tender.
No, he hasn't.
So I expect him to be there. He may or may not be there, but I expect him to be there. I do believe they beat New Orleans in a tough game in Vegas. I think they beat Vegas. Oh, that's regular season. What the hell? I'm sorry, guys. I don't care about preseason. Week 1. Prime time. They open up versus the Jets. Woo! Woo!
Isn't
The
it
Jets are
isn't it in San Francisco?
It is.
Okay.
The Jets are a team that has 6 primetime games out of a 17-week season.
Okay.
People are putting a lot on the Jets. and Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of weapons there. I'm going to listen. I wish Sammy was here because I would love his thoughts. But the Jets are going to win that game.
Okay.
I got the Jets winning that game. Okay. Then they go to Minnesota. I think because whether it's JJ or Donald, it won't matter. I think the 49ers beat Minnesota. I don't like JJ there. I don't like Bradford there, but it is what it is. Tough game on the road versus Rams is a divisional game, but it's the beginning part of the season. And I'll put it this way. We don't know what that Rams defense is going to look like. We have a good idea what the offense is going to look like. You got Cooper Kupp. You got Puka. You got Williams. You got my guy from Michigan, Crone. And you got Matthew Stafford.
Oh, God.
I kind of like it.
Okay.
But divisional games are always tough. And with this being the case, I got to go with the home team because it's so early. San Francisco. I mean, not the home team. I got to go with San Francisco because I think they are the better equipped team to win that game.
I got to. Some of the pieces you're talking about are has-beens, and we don't know. You got Cooper Kupp, who's
I already said this is May.
You got Cooper Kupp on the other side of 30, who can't stay healthy. You got Blake Corum, who Jim Harbaugh had the chance to get him and did not. So that's got to tell you something about him. That's got to tell you something
he
about
got
him.
Taken in the third round, bro.
That's telling you something. If he thought that highly of his running back that won the world, won a college championship and didn't try to get him, come on, man. I got to believe.
Who says they didn't, but they had other pressing needs ahead of the running back position.
Okay.
Now, you got to remember, they got just like you said last year, Joshua Kelly or whatever Kelly it is that's out there in Los Angeles was supposed to be ready to take the reins. That's what you said.
Joshua Kelly is hot garbage.
That's what you said last year, that he was ready to take the reins at the beginning of the season.
I never said about Josh Kelly. I said Isaiah Spiller. That's a different story. I never said anything about Joshua Kelly. I said Isaiah Spiller.
Okay.
Isaiah Spiller.
Okay.
And I didn't like Joshua Kelly because he's a plotter. He's not the one. That's why he's still in the same position, at the backup. That's why.
Okay. Whatever. Moving on. The Patriots are an enigma. I believe Jacoby Brissett is going to start the season and probably do most of the season before they bring in old boy from North Carolina.
I understand.
Did not happen, but they're going to get whooped.
I understand. It's another North Carolina bust, in my opinion, bust quarterback. I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you this. By the end of the season, this guy's going to be starting.
I didn't say he wasn't.
Wait a minute. Just listen to me. Can I finish?
Well, I didn't finish my sentence. And you interrupted me on my show. I didn't finish mine.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize. You're right. Okay.
Thank you. So you're talking about, can I finish? How about let the host finish?
No problem, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're right. You're absolutely
all I was
right.
getting to is that with, and I said it, that Jacoby Brissett would start the season by mid-season or so. They're probably going to move off of him and bring in the quarterback because you have to see what it is that that Gerard Mayo. Now, again, Gerard Mayo made a statement. A lot of people took it out of context, in my opinion, saying that the kid has a lot to work on, and that fed into a lot of the pre-draft issues of he shouldn't even be drafted that high. I think it's just the fact that he's like any other college player. especially at the quarterback position, has to learn how to be an NFL player. And when you're an NFL quarterback, it's going to be a lot harder to pick up things. And Drake May is a good kid, but just like Gerard Mayo said, he's not ready, just like most aren't. But by the mid-end season, I do believe they're going to put him out there and begin his maturation into the NFL outside of holding the clipboard. Go ahead.
Okay. Mitchell Trubisky. Drake May reminds me of Mitchell Trubisky. Just drafted a couple or different spots in the first round, but one of the top 3 quarterbacks drafted. I'm telling you, people, you heard it here first on Vic's birthday. You heard it here first. I'm getting close to the mic, and I want you to understand what I'm saying.
Sound like a creep.
I want you to understand what I am saying. There's a quarterback that has Tom Brady type ability. Has Tom Brady type ability. And the scenario is he was drafted in the 6th round. Don't be surprised if
Oh my God, I know you're talking
Joe
about
Milton surpasses Drake May. Don't be surprised. I'm telling you, and Joe Milton has got a cannon for an arm. Okay. He's got things to work on. You don't think he's working on that? You don't think he's working on that? Drake May. And everybody's talking about the next great white. I'm going to put it out there. The great white hope quarterback in Drake May, in Josh Allen. And Drake May is the comparison to Josh Allen. That ain't happening, in my opinion. That's not happening. I said there's a guy in the 6th round that was drafted. Why do you think they drafted another quarterback? Why? Because even though they drafted Drake May in the 3rd round. Okay.
3rd overall.
3rd overall. And they drafted Joe Milton in the 6th round. Okay. Nobody else decided to do it. I've been talking about Joe Milton for the longest, and you know that. Okay. He's got a cannon for an arm, just like Josh Allen, just like Michael Penix. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's got inaccurate issues, and he's got decision-making issues. Okay. You don't think that once he gets to the NFL level that he's not going to get them to them? And I can guarantee you this. He's sitting behind whoever is the starter and the backup, and he's listening and learning and being able to grab all that information. So when his time comes, he's going to do his best to shine. Don't dispel Joe Milton. I'm telling you.
I got you. Unfortunately, as a 6th round draft pick, it's not likely that he'll make the team, especially if he doesn't show that he can take care of the ball and make better decisions during preseason. Because that's the only time he's going to really get any action. So with that being said, Joe Milton does have a big cannon of an arm, but the knock on him is his attitude, accuracy, and again, decision making. So we'll see what happens there. But let's get through the rest of this schedule so we can talk about a couple other teams and move forward. San Francisco has a decent schedule. Arizona, Seattle, I think they win those 2, even though they're 3 of their first 6 games are divisional opponents. So that's 3 divisional opponents in the first month and a half of the season. I find that very interesting because the next time you see him is probably the latter part of the season. So what you learned in the first part might not be the same. But then they get into a tough sled. Kansas City, Dallas, bye week. Tampa, who I don't think is going to be really good. I think Tampa maybe get 7 to 8 wins this year. But they come back with Seattle, Green Bay, tough game. Buffalo might not be as tough as people think they're going to be. I think they're going to be okay. I don't think they're going to be the AFC East champs. Say that. Chicago. A lot of people are jumping on Chicago, but I think San Francisco whoops up on Chicago. I really think so, especially when it's in San Francisco and not Chicago late in the season. The Rams, Miami, Detroit, and finish with Arizona. It's a favorable schedule, in my opinion, even though JT said it's like the 19th hardest or 12th hardest or something like that. But it's a doable schedule, in my opinion, where they can easily get over 10 wins, maybe 11 to 12 wins again for the 49ers. Real quick, JT, their schedule, your thoughts?
Well, they're picked to have to win the West easily, in my opinion. And I know most people think differently because of San Francisco. I think they take a step back. I think they take a step back. Absolutely. I think they take a step back. I think they overachieved last year. Everything went well for them. They didn't have any major injuries for an extended period of time. I think the odds are against them, okay, that they're going to have some problems keeping players healthy. And that's going to make it have a step back. I mean, I think Kittle was out a few games, but Debo was out, 1 or 2 games, whatever. But I think one of those key players are going to have an extended period of time when they're out. And that's going to affect Brock Purdy. Okay? That's going to affect Brock Purdy. So I expect them to take a step back. They may have a decent defense, but is that defense going to be able to sustain what they did last year? I think they take a step back. I'll keep on reiterating that. They're going to have a new offensive coordinator that took over right after they got rid of the offensive coordinator they had last season with so much success. Now they're dealing with new defensive coordinator. I think they take a step back. And, okay, we'll see what happens. But I think people are expecting a lot from the San Francisco 49ers to take that division easily. I don't think it's going
to be easily.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm looking at their win total or expected win total, and right now it's 11.5. I'm looking at it now. It says 11.5. They expect the 49ers to have 11.5 wins. So between 11 and 12 wins, I don't think that's going to happen. And every other team in that division is either 3 or 4 games less than the 49ers. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to be a big difference like that. They expect the Seahawks to have 7.5, Rams 8.5, and the Cardinals, where are the Cardinals at? 6.5. So that's a big difference between what the 49ers are projected to have, 11.5 wins, and the other 3 division opponents. You got 3 or 4 different win games difference. I don't think that happens. I think it's a lot closer than that.
Okay. Well, let's go to a team that I expect to win the NFC South and has your favorite quarterback of all time playing for them. The Atlanta Falcons.
Cousins.
Oh, Kirk. Okay, like what in the world are you saying? Are you having like attack or something?
Cousins.
Okay, so they open up versus Pittsburgh at home. Tough matchup because we know Arthur Smith wants to demolish him and he wants to run the rock like crazy. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Week 1.
The Atlanta Falcons have the easiest schedule tied with the Saints in the NFL.
based upon last year's 500 percentage record. I got it. I don't think that really matters because it's totally different teams this year.
Okay.
Totally different. But I think this is going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a tough matchup.
Okay.
And I think Pittsburgh does not win it, to go off of what you were talking about as far as what do you say? You said Mike Tomlin will not have a winning season.
Nope.
And it starts here. I think Atlanta beats them. Let's move on. Monday night, we know what Kirk does on Monday nights or any night versus Philadelphia. They go 1-1 in my opinion. Then they got Kansas City. It's not looking good for Atlanta.
Okay.
But with Rashee Rice out, I don't know. Well, possibly out. We don't know if it's gonna be out, but it's probably gonna be out. It's probably gonna be suspended.
Saw my post how to
Yeah.
how to ruin ruin your
career. Yeah.
Ruin your
He's doing
career.
it. I believe they beat New Orleans. I don't think New Orleans is gonna be that big of a threat this year. They beat Tampa, Carolina. Excuse me, since the game's in Atlanta and not in Seattle, I think they beat Seattle. They lose at Tampa Bay, though. I think it's going to be tougher for them to sweep Tampa this year, but I think they're going to sweep both New Orleans and Carolina. Dallas is going to be tough game, but I do believe they beat Dallas. As I said, they sweep New Orleans. I don't have any confidence in Denver, so they beat Denver. But
wait a minute.
What?
I got to interrupt you. Got to answer this question because what I heard is highly hypocritical of what you said a little while ago. Okay, you say the Atlanta Falcons will beat Dallas.
Yeah.
And okay. Now let me ask you this question:
Atlanta Falcons will also beat Cleveland if they play them.
Oh, where are they playing them at?
I said if they play them. I don't know if they're playing them.
Okay, no.
Atlanta's not playing them.
Okay, I'm riding along with you, and I just want you to ask me where are they playing? Are they playing in Atlanta or are they playing in Cleveland?
Which game?
I'm saying Atlanta playing the Cleveland. You said Atlanta would beat Cleveland. Okay.
I said they would be Cleveland. They're not playing Cleveland this year, though.
But if they come on now, stay with me here.
If it was a fifth, and you want to ask me where, I'm just going to give you what will happen if they play. If they're in Atlanta, they beat them easily. If they're in Cleveland, they still beat them. It just won't be easy.
So you're telling me the Atlanta Falcons
are that much better,
or just as good as the Dallas Cowboys? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh yeah, I think they're better than Dallas Cowboys this year. I think they're better than Dallas this year.
Okay, no problem.
That's why I said Atlanta beats the Cowboys. I believe I said that.
I'm just.
Let me see.
I'm just.
I said they beat the Cowboys.
I'm just putting it back in my 70-year-old memory bank.
Please do.
Okay? Because. Okay, no problem, man.
I do believe they lose to the Chargers, though. I also believe Minnesota gives them a tough run because Kurt wants to make that a point of emphasis, but I don't think Minnesota's going to let them. So they lose that. I think they lose to the Raiders, but they finish out beating the Giants. And I think, it's in Washington.
The Falcons have the easiest schedule. The easiest.
Well, you see how many wins I'm giving them? You see how many wins? It's at the end of the season. Kirk Cousins goes against Washington in Washington. And I think Washington is going to be fighting for a playoff spot at that point because Atlanta's already going to have theirs locked up. By that point, they'll already have the division title by week 17.
You're so disillusioned.
I'm going to say Washington beats them only because Atlanta already has.
I wish Memo was here because he'll ask the same question. He'll ask the same question as I asked, and you guys asked me last season. Is Washington going to lose any games this year?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Is Washington going to lose?
They are.
So you're
I
telling
said
me
I don't think we're going to win over 9 games. There are 17 games. What does that tell you?
that means
They're going to lose at least 8.
and they're going to be fighting for the playoffs. And the last
Yes,
game,
9 and 8 in the NFC gets in. There aren't that many strong teams in the NFC East. I mean, the NFC.
Okay.
9 and 8 gets you in.
My disillusioned Washington Commander fan. Okay, no problem. Okay,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the one. Never mind.
I understand.
Never mind.
And
And then they beat Carolina
look,
because Carolina isn't that good
you know,
to begin with.
I think I know my team pretty well, and I think you try to know your team pretty well. And you were off expectations of your team last year. I was directly on my team last year. Directly,
You know what?
I was
Let's
exactly,
just do
I was
this.
exactly right.
This is the last thing we're going to do today. This is the last thing we're going to do today. Because we're going to raise some hell. That's what we're going to do.
Okay, let me ask you something.
We're
How many games is your? I'm gonna write this damn thing down. How many games you think your team's gonna win this year?
How many times I got to tell you, JT?
Tell me again.
Told you.
Tell me
I
again.
just told you if I went to the schedule.
Tell me.
And
again.
I might be giving them more games when
Might.
we do this.
Mike.
I said I predict they're going to go 9 and 8, but
Okay.
I might give them more.
I don't think they win 7
Here.
games. I don't know.
I don't care what you think.
Okay. No, because I want you to solidify of your opinion.
I will not solidify.
Oh, you're
until
not
we do-
confident.
Listen, no. I at least said 9 and 8, but I will solidify their record when we go over them in the summer. Not right now, but I will give you what I think is going to happen right now based upon what we know right now.
They won't
Things
win
will
7
change.
games. They won't win
So
7 games.
here we go. We start out on fire, winning the first 3 games. Tampa, Giants, and the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to really suck this year. I'm sorry to say it, but I think they are. I think we lose to Arizona, though. We lose to Arizona because that's I'm not saying a get back game for Kyler Murray, just to show, hey, it was the head coach. Now the Kingsbury's the offensive coordinator for Washington. But I think they know how to game plan versus him. Beat Cleveland in a tough game, but beat them. Then it's going to get really, really sketchy. Baltimore's a loss. Carolina's a win. I hate to say it, but I think Chicago is a loss. I think New York's a loss. I think Pittsburgh's a loss. Philly's a loss. We beat Dallas because it's Thanksgiving, and it's I'm amazed that Dallas is on the road for Thanksgiving, but no, that's Sunday. That's Sunday. We beat Dallas at home.
What team is this?
Is Washington. We beat Tennessee, and we got a bye week 14.
Well,
but in a surprise, we lose to New Orleans, we lose to Philly. I said we beat the Falcons, and we lose to Dallas.
Well, let me ask you something here.
Yes.
Who do you think both of these rookie quarterbacks, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, going into new wide receivers, a new offensive coordinator and head coach, and a defense that's suspect, and running backs he doesn't know. Who struggles more, Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels?
In that game?
Who struggles more in the beginning of the season?
In the beginning of the season.
I'll make it specific.
Okay.
And
I'm going to say.
Wait a minute, let me finish.
Oh my gosh.
And what do you? Wait a minute. Let me finish my question. And how many games is or how many specific games do they struggle in the beginning of the season before they start showing some improvement?
I got to see who the Bears play first, because I don't think Jaden is going to have an easy go of it, but I think he's going to have an easier season because the Bears open up with Tennessee. Offense is going to be, the defense of Tennessee is terrible, even though they made some improvements.
Run
We don't know what
defense
they're going to
versus
be.
the pass defense is two different things.
So Houston is going to be a problem. Indy may or may not be a problem. Rams may or may not be a problem. Carolina, I don't think is going to be a problem. Jacksonville, I already told you, Jacksonville's defense isn't going to be that good this year. They play us week 8. Our defense is somewhat of a problem, but not that big. I think the Cardinals secondary, if Buda Baker's there, maybe. But Buda might be traded by then. Patriots, don't think it's going to be a problem. Packers, somehow, some way, always seem to be decent. Minnesota's defense improved last year. Hopefully they build upon that. Detroit secondary should improve, but proved to be pretty bad. 49ers, I think. Looking at the schedule, I think Caleb is going to have the better or the easier go of it schedule-wise and talent. Because when you got DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, who does not play well in the cold, by the way, so that's crazy. He's going to play outdoors in the cold in Chicago, but doesn't have good games in cold weather. But that's where he was traded to. Along with DeAndre Swift and the 2 tight ends, he should have the better. He should have the better season. He should have the better maturation process. Jaden Daniels has Terry McLaurin, Dotson, Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson, and a couple of unknowns. Well, several unknowns. So the difference is Jaden will run. And I equate him to Lamar and Randall Cunningham, just like Herm Edwards did. Herm Edwards said he is Randall Cunningham reincarnated, even though he's not dead, but Randall Cunningham. And a Randall Cunningham in this day and age is deadly. Deadly. A guy that can throw the ball, can be accurate, and run around. Numbers-wise, I think Caleb will have better numbers as far as throwing the ball.
I'm talking about win-loss, man. I'm not talking about – I could get left about numbers. Win-loss.
Well, you say he's going to have the better season, right? And
win-loss. Win-loss.
But now you're defining win-losses. Before that wasn't the case. Win-losses, based upon the schedule, Chicago should have a better win-loss record. Now that I saw the schedule. They should. I don't think they will.
Okay.
Because I think when we look at these defenses Chicago has to face, right? Green Bay's defense isn't that bad, but it ain't that good. Seahawks defense is always good. Detroit needs to improve. Minnesota's defense is good. 49ers defense is good. Patriots supposed to be tough, but don't know. Cardinals, no. Us, who knows? Like I said, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense isn't as good as I thought it would be and will be, in my opinion. Panthers defense hasn't been that good. The Rams, same deal. I mean, he should do well versus the majority of the defenses. But I think there are going to be a lot of growing pains with the blitzes and the things that stifle Caleb Williams. That's just being truthful. Any more questions?
No, I'm good. I just wanted to ask you. I just had a question and I wanted to ask you, and you didn't surprise me with your homer, but that's okay, no problem.
Homer.
Yeah.
Hold on, I didn't even see this. I didn't even see this. You know what else is funny? Ezekiel Elliott going back. Hold on. I know we were doing this and we missed some of these live comments. I wasn't able to see them. But Robert Rue, you know what else is funny? Ezekiel Elliott got going back to the cow clowns. The Cowboys will be schizophrenic and all over the place until Jerry Jones dies And they get a
Zeke will
professional
get hurt in the
team.
first 5 games. I believe that. I'm saying Zeke is washed up, and Mark McCarthy. Then they're going to be scrambling for a running back to team up with Dowdle. I mean, come on, really? It's dumb.
We'll see.
Dumb.
We'll see.
Dumb.
But I like. I wanted to go over more schedules, but I also want to talk about. I want to talk about what just happened with Harrison Buckner. So,
Oh, you can talk about it. I could
freedom of speech is what he used. He gave a commencement speech. It was reported that a lot of women and a lot of men in the audience did stand up and clap and applaud the situation. You got Lou Holtz and others supporting what he said. I have seen people state, listen to the whole thing and whatnot. I actually saw a vast majority of it. And when the NFL has to put a statement out and say he did it on his own free time and we are distancing ourselves from him, that means they know there's a problem. There's a video right now where two ladies say, you know, I'm a Chiefs fan because this, that, and the third. And they're literally poking fun at what Harrison Buckner said. And I've seen a lot of commentators, a lot of news media outlets compare it to Colin Kaepernick and how Kaepernick got backlash for it, what he did, taking a knee, versus Harrison Buckner, who just was probably verbally reprimanded by the team, and the NFL walked away from it. My question is, though you have those viewpoints and others have stood up and applauded you and support you because of those viewpoints, how many other things have you done or said in that locker room or within your circle of people that are very similar? Women, your best days are ahead, not in the office, but at home. Your life really begins when you have a family child. Now, that statement right there alone, I can see how that can get misconstrued. But if he said that alone, I would be more apt to be like, okay, look, being a father and my wife and stuff like that, knowing how she feels about the kids and whatnot, I can see it. But coupled with all that he said, how do we, as an evolving society, continue to want to jump back into the 50s and the 60s and the 40s? Why is this mindset applauded? Because people don't want to accept the LGBTQ community. They don't want to accept that women are equal to men. They don't want to accept that a lot of men have become,
feminized.
Yeah, feminized.
Okay.
I'm not going to call them soft. I'm not going to call them anything other than what they are. Is they're men. They don't want to accept the fact that some men have decided to change their sex. Some women also have decided to change their sex. But they also know there are people born with one set of genitals or genitalia. And then as they get older, they develop into the other sex. That's real. That's not science. That's not something science did.
That's not science. That's science. It's absolutely science.
No, what I'm saying is that's what God did. God did.
What's that?
I said God did that.
Okay. If are you going to disparage God?
No, and that's my point. That's my point. You can talk about all this, that, and the third, but things that God has naturally done. I don't see that being questioned. It's just not talked about. I don't particularly care if you agree or disagree with his statements. Although I would like to understand or hear from you if you do agree that we need to go back to the Stone Age pretty much.
Well, let me put it this way. Okay. What type of person is looking to walk it back versus moving forward? Tell me what type of person, okay? What? And most of them have the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So what type of person are we talking about that's looking to walk it back to the 50s, the 60s, or the early 60s, okay? Or the 40s? What type of person? And then you can get a better understanding of where they're coming from. That's what I'm saying. Okay, you take it for what it is. But what I'm saying is, what type of person you're looking at that speaks, they want to go back to what they call, and in quotation marks, the good old days. For good old days for who? The good old days for who? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. When certain people gain more power, some people have a problem with that. When certain people voice their opinion and other people do not like it, that's what I'm talking about. When they speak truth and truth doesn't like it, that's what I'm talking about. I keep it 100%, regardless. And if you don't like it, okay. If you do, okay. But I'm going to speak the truth, and the truth will set me free. The truth may hurt other people's feelings, but if you get up on your feelings and you don't like the truth and you want to go back to the 50s or early 60s or 40s or whatever, when the certain type of people had it more their way, come on, man. Come on. Really? Really?
Well, I can
Did I articulate it well enough?
I can agree with you.
Okay.
I can agree with you.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
And this is why I'm saying, people don't think sports and politics go together.
They always go together.
Always.
They always go together.
I don't know if you remember when we first started.
Yep.
And people was like, sports and politics? Huh? Takes a different type of mind to see all types of things and not just what's standing in front of them. The fact that Harrison Buckner's jersey has now outsold Pat Mahomes' jersey.
Okay.
That speaks volumes of the type of people that are going to also elect our next president.
Let me put it this way. You give enough leash, and I'll say it like this: you give enough leash on somebody, sooner or later they're going to show you who they are. Sooner or later, they will show you their true colors. Literally, they'll show you your true colors, whether they wear a hood or not.
Well, with that being said,
yep,
we're going to take a break before we end this show and come back in 30 seconds, and we'll wrap this thing up. Be right back.
Embark on an unforgettable journey through Egypt with Hues of Africa and Soul Journey Travel. Discover the wonders of this ancient land with our expertly curated itinerary, from the majestic pyramids of Giza to the tranquil waters of the Nile. Immerse yourself in the rich history and vibrant culture of Egypt. Book now and use discount code VICTOR2024 to save $100 off your trip. Single and dual occupancy options available with flexible payment plans. Visit our website for more details and start your adventure today.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with us. Okay, walk like an Egyptian. I know you're not coming on the trip, but it would have been cool. Anyway, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching the show today, and I want to thank my boy Robert Rue for chiming in, even though we didn't get to your comment because we got a different screen up. I appreciate you. JT, are you going to have a master? Excuse me. Are you going to have a?
Yes. I'm finally going to be there. Okay. Finally going to be there. I wasn't there on my birthday, and I wasn't there on Mother's Day, but I'm finally going to be there, and I'm going to talk about fantasy football and the players that we're talking about that are newer to the league, and the players that have moved in different places. I'm going to be talking about Jaden Daniels in the Commanders. Absolutely. And Caleb Williams with the Bears. And Drake May with the New England Patriots. And Michael Penix with the Atlanta Falcons. And J.J. McCarthy with the Minnesota Vikings. Those rookies, quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers, and also guys that got moved, veterans that got moved to certain locations. I mean, it's going to be a packed full show, okay? I was going to do a draft. I think I'll probably do the draft next week, but I want to really talk about these players because there's a lot of fantasy goodness and there's going to be some disappointments. I'm telling you, people. Some locations where players are going, you're going to expect them to shine. They ain't. I'll put it that way. They ain't, in my opinion.
But ain't. Okay.
They ain't. They're going to struggle. They're going to struggle.
Okay.
They may get better as the season goes on, but the first half of the season, they're going to struggle. And if they go up against good defense, they're really going to struggle. Okay. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, X is where I'll be at. You see it behind you for no reason. Fantasy football is where I'm going to be, and we're going to talk about all that, and then a box of chocolates too. Okay, popcorn. Get your popcorn ready. Okay, get your popcorn ready because I know it's going to be a fun-filled show. Mr. FSP is going to disagree. No problem. I got all the smoke that I want to bring.
Well, we'll
10
see.
a.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Sunday.
We'll see if he does the show tomorrow. If he does the show, then we'll see how much smoke he brings. But he don't want that smoke. He knows he doesn't. But again, thank you for the birthday wish, JT. Thank you for your $100 you'll be giving me. I appreciate it, and we'll also have a little fun some other time. Next week, let's see. NBA Finals are coming. And I told y'all, Timberwolves, watch out for them Timberwolves.
Let's go.
OKC's a little disappointing right now, but they got to beat the Mavs. We'll see.
Let's go Knicks.
Boxing, the Knicks are going to lose to the Celtics in the Eastern Finals, but we'll see. I wanted to talk about Tyson Fury fighting right now, but I don't think Jerry's into boxing right now. So I don't know. But anyway, with that being said, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Again, if you want to join us on that trip to Egypt, all you got to do is follow the link. With that being said, we are out.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The dude's holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh! Jerry's gonna get him.